in Belmont.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
The reason I'm calling is I saw the last few shows, and one of them talked about 13 billion years in Hindu cosmology.
Okay.
And there was another one where Tracy talked about how nice Hare Krishna people are, and I wanted to just bring some Hindu perspective into this.
Okay.
The Hindus and the Hare Krishnas, majority of them, they believe in Vedic creationism, and many of them are fanatics, not just in India, but here. They have a lot of websites in English which are geared towards the American Hindus and Hare Krishnas. And I get a little frustrated with the fascination that people have with the Eastern religions. They seem to think it's very sophisticated, and if you look at their website, they use a lot of quantum jargon. They make references to Einstein and Feynman and so on. And this, Matt talked about that there was, at least he heard somewhere that Hindu cosmology thinks that the universe is 13 billion years old. And I just want to say that there isn't anywhere in Hindu cosmology that the number of 13 billion years appear. They think that Brahma, the God who created all there is, the Brahman, the Brahma is up for a day, which is 4.32 billion years long, and he sleeps for another 4.32 billion years. The 4.32 billion years of creation is followed by the 4.32 billion years of destruction when he sleeps. And the cycle is going to go on for 311 trillion years.
So in other words,
we are in the year 155th trillionth year at the moment.
Well, that's complete
there isn't
bullshit.
Anything really. I mean, I think they like to point that the 4.32 billion years, that's really close to the age of the Earth, which is 4.5. And the 13, if you add the entire life cycle of Brahma, which is going to be 8.64 billion years, which they claim is close to 13.7 billion years, although it doesn't even remotely describe the same concept.
Anjali, thank you very much for the correction. I think, we had the previous caller raising a concern about atheists being inappropriately cautious about Islam, and I think there is a concern there. It's a valid concern. It may not be going on as much as he thinks, but at the other end of the scale, there's religions that haven't given us any trouble, particularly in the living memory of anybody talking about it today, and a tendency maybe to be a little less critical. Slack. Yeah, cut a little more slack to those religions. That may be what we're seeing. But thank you for the correction.
I do think that here in the West we have sort of a tendency to sort of give some muddle-headed romanticism to Eastern religions that people don't really understand, in much the same way that that New Agers romanticize quantum mechanics and really don't understand it.
Right, absolutely.
Yes. Well, the Hare Krishna movement here in America is very much a big proponent of the ID movement. And they have written books in conjunction with each other with Michael Behe and Dembski, which is called Hidden Archaeology. That sort of talks about the Hindu cosmology. The Hare Krishna people, they supported the ID effort to put stickers in Cobb County, Georgia. The biology books, they wrote amicus. They write amicus briefs for wherever they can, supporting the ideas.
Yeah,
so
okay.
it's not very serious, but it's it shouldn't be taken lightly, I think.
Thank you very much.
I agree with you. I don't know who said that. Given the power, if they had more power, they will feel more comfortable doing more things. I mean, I know I have Hare Krishna friends. One thing I don't like is that they are very anti-vax. They won't get any vaccinations. They won't take their children to doctors, when they can. I know that since you are in Texas, there was a big case in, I think, 2001, 2002, where there were hundreds of children who brought this case that the Hare Krishna boarding schools, and the accusations range from sexual abuse to wrongful death due to medical neglect. And they actually won the case, and millions of dollars are still owed to people who were affected by this. The kids living in the boarding schools.
Angeli, do you know of any web resources that compile criticisms of
Hare
Krishnas
and
Hinduism that we might pass on to our viewers?
Nothing that will have just like an overarching thing, but there's just a lot of things. I mean, there's a K-tube, which is a Krishna tube, a lot of Hindu creationism videos on there.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thanks for calling.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely a very interesting perspective, and I think any time you give unconditional trust to any group, no matter what they're preaching, if they haven't earned that trust, you're going to get abuse.
Or not preaching. It counts for atheists too.
Right. Yes.